Hi, everybody. Good to see you again. We are going to continue with our Unit 6 lesson, and we're going to do page 64. Okay, so the original plan was to do all of it, but to save a little bit on time, we're going to bypass number 1 and 2 and 3, okay? And we're going to go directly to the listening, number 4. Um, Originally, I was going to play the audio for you as I had downloaded the program from the book's website from Pearson, but unfortunately, it is the old edition. So I'm going to read it for you, okay? So again, I will read it and you can stop it and then listen a second time and then we will correct it. Okay, I will read it as best as I possibly can. Okay, number 1. So just to repeat, we are doing page 64, activity 4. Okay, so for each question, choose the correct answer. Is it A, B, or C? You will hear a girl telling her friend about a visit to a university. How did your visit to the university go? Well, the journey took ages, and that was without any traffic jams on the way. What about the university, though? Oh, I love the architecture. It gave it a real atmosphere. I doubt they have air conditioning or anything invented in the last 2 centuries, though. Did it have those huge lecture halls that you sometimes see in films? No, they don't have any, but I quite like that because it means they can only fit a few people in each class. 2. You will hear 2 students talking about moving into student accommodation. Hi, I'm Alina. I'm Alex. Nice to meet you. I see from all these boxes that you've just arrived. Oh, yes, I'll put those in the bin later. I did that when I started last year. Then it was hard to find new ones when I hadn't emptied my room at the end of the year. Oh, okay. I think I brought too much stuff though. Oh well, at least you won't have to buy lots of things. Have you met the guys next door? Not yet. Well, I expect you'll hear them soon. They're so noisy. 3. You will hear a girl telling her friend about a geography trip. Hi, Molly. How was the geography trip to Iceland? The views were incredible. We were expecting to collect some great data on ground movement around the ice. The equipment we took froze up, though. Oh no! So the trip was wasted? It wasn't that bad. I'd be keen to go back and try again, though. I'm surprised your teacher didn't warn you about the equipment. Well, he did tell us, but the equipment they usually take to the kind of challenging environment was already in use by another group. 4. You will hear 2 friends talking about the homework they have been set. Yes, they have been set. That's right. We've got 3 essays due in 1 week. It's a good thing I started early. I started immediately too, and I'm still thinking of asking for more time. Oh, don't depend on that. I heard the teachers are quite strict. I don't even understand the question for the chemistry essay. A lot of people were in the same situation. There's lots on the group's social media site. You could try there. There were a lot of summaries on the lectures and the books for that project too, with comments. The lectures were hard to follow, weren't they? They were. 5. You will hear 2 students talking about a book they have read. What did you think about that book? Well, they say it's a classic introduction to social studies. I imagine an introduction might be a bit briefer, though. I know. Still, We won't have to buy anything else. This one covers just about everything. I looked through the section on research methods and I can see how it'll be helpful for our practical work. I was worried about how to write up a report until I looked at the chapter. It just uses such big words that I can't understand it though. I was surprised. I didn't need to look much up. And 6. I can't believe what time I got in this morning. It was such a good concert. I didn't want them to stop. The band were amazing. You'd normally have to pay so much to see a live band like that. The man who's in charge of organizing these social events for the university gets special deals with bands. They practice at the start of the tour with a small audience, and everyone's happy. Their speakers weren't great, though. Oh, I didn't notice. I might regret the decision to stay until the last song once I'm in the middle of my first class, though. Okay, so as I said, you can stop the video and you can go back and listen again, and then we'll correct the answers. Okay? Okay, so let's correct the answers. 1C, okay, 2A, 3C, 4C, 5B, and 6A. Okay, so that's the listening activity. Let's go to page 65, okay, and we're going to talk about the past perfect. All right. It says work in pairs. Do you think there are different types of intelligence? Why or why not? Do you think it affects how students learn in class? Okay, so I don't know. What do you think? Apparently, now here in the teacher book, it does mention that a professor in Harvard named Howard Gardner has proposed the idea that there are 8 different kinds of intelligence. And in the 8, can you think of intelligences that he includes? So, mathematical intelligence, linguistic intelligence, if you're good at languages, body skills, right? Maybe involving sport, musical skills, again, maybe involving playing an instrument, singing. I don't know if dance would be considered body skills or musical skills, or maybe both. And people skills, right? Knowing how to deal with people and have a conversation, interrelational skills. So those are 5 that he mentions, and maybe there are other ones mixed in, right? But apparently there are 8. I believe that. I don't think there's just 1 or 2 different types of intelligence. People are very, very complicated, and that would be very difficult. So here we have an article about a man named Kim Young. Read and answer the questions. What did Kim learn before he was 2? What did Kim finish before he was 16? How long did he spend at NASA before he left the USA? And what did Kim do before he started his planning job? Okay, so pause the video and come back once you finish, and we will correct. Okay, so what did Kim learn before he was 2? He learned how to read 4 languages. How amazing is that? I would love that. That wasn't me. And I'm good at languages. 2, what did Kim finish before he was 16? A physics PhD. And how long did he spend at NASA before he left? 4 years. And what did Kim do before he started his planning job? A second PhD. Wow. right? That's pretty impressive. Okay, so in this article, we had many examples of the past perfect. Okay, so I have an example sentence here that I wrote using the past perfect. Okay, I think you can see it more or less. Let me move it back. Okay, so I'd heard so many great things about Japan that I decided to go there. Okay, so we have in this sentence two tenses. We have a tense in the past perfect and we have a tense in the past simple. Okay, so what is the past simple in this sentence? Decided, right? And the past perfect, right? I'd heard. How do we create the past perfect? We need the verb have in the past, right? Plus we need the past participle of the verb, right? And when do we use the past perfect? Okay, it's when we talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. So I decided to go to Japan is an action that happened in the past. But why did I go there? Okay, something happened for me first in order to decide for me to go there. Okay, I'd heard so many great things about Japan. So me learning or hearing or knowing things about Japan influenced this other action that happened second. Okay, so it's the first action. If you look at the grammar reference on page 145 at the back of your book, okay, there's another example here for you. We use the past perfect to talk about a past action that happened before another past action. I watched the film because I'd enjoyed reading the book. So what did she do first? Did she read the book first or did she watch the film first? She read the book first, right? So I'd enjoyed reading the book, so I watched the film. Okay. Continue reading at the top of the page. It says we often use the past perfect simple with time expressions such as by the time, before, and after. For example, by the time we arrived, the party had finished. So imagine the party was at 9, we arrived at 11, and by the time we arrived at 11, the party had finished, right? By the time. Okay, and then you have before and after. Okay. So there's an activity here on page 145, exercise 6.2. If you'd like to do this activity, and you can send it to my email address and I will correct it for you. Okay, this is a little bit of extra work. And let's go back to page 65. Okay, and look at activity 5. Okay, complete the sentences with the correct past simple or past perfect form of the verbs in brackets. So please stop the video, and when you finish the activity, come back and we'll correct it. Hi everybody, welcome back. Okay, so let's correct activity 5 together, okay? By the time Christopher Langen was 3 years old, he had taught himself to read. Okay, taught himself to read. 2. By the time the chess player Judith Polgar was 16, she had become an international grandmaster, the highest position in the game. So was and had become. 3. Aliyah Saber had already become, sorry, I lost myself. Had already become the world's youngest university professor when she turned 19. Andrew Wiles had already solved one of the most difficult maths problems in the world by the time he started secondary school. 5. When Christopher Hirata celebrated his 16th birthday, he had already started working for NASA. And lastly, number 6, Akrit Jaswal managed to perform his first operation aged 7 because he had read lots of books about it. Okay, so in number 6, I'm going to give you some homework. Quite a bit actually, because next week is Easter week, so there won't be any videos. Okay, so you can do the activity I mentioned before, activity 3.2 in the grammar reference. Okay, you can do activity 6. You're going to talk about someone you consider to be a successful person. Make notes about, okay, the name of the person, their background, what the person had achieved by the time they finished school or in their 20s, 30s, etc. Why you think the person was successful and why you admire the person. Okay, so you can do that activity. Not necessarily notes, you can write a little composition about it. Okay, on page 66, you have a story. Okay, so your story is, your English teacher has asked you to write a story and you must begin this sentence. You must begin with this sentence. It was such a lucky escape. Okay? A lucky escape. So, a lucky escape. What is a lucky escape? Imagine you're walking, you're looking at your phone, and you stop for some reason, and a car comes directly in front of you. If you had continued to be on your phone, you wouldn't have seen the car and the car would have hit you. What a lucky escape you had. Okay, so you can read the information on page 66 and there's an example, okay? And I want you to continue and do your own, okay? Lucky escape. There's an activity also, number 5, where you have to choose between the past simple, past continuous, or past perfect. This is a good activity for you to do as well. And then finally, the review. Okay, so it's quite a lot of work, but it's work for this week and it's work for next week as well. So I hope you have time. I hope you enjoy your Easter break. I hope you are happy and healthy, and we will see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.